Boston is known as a hub of biotech, and it's home to some of the most well-respected hospitals and research centers in the country. But as a recent investigation from the Boston Globe Spotlight team uncovered, there's another thing that sets this city apart: healthcare presidents and CEOs moonlighting on for-profit company boards, some of which have conflict of interest written all over them. The Globe found at the time of the report 6 out of 7 top hospital execs in Boston also served as directors for pharmaceutical, telehealth, and medical device companies, earning hundreds of thousands and sometimes even millions of dollars for their outside work. In 4 of the 11 other major cities the Spotlight team examined, only one top hospital exec held a similar position. In the other 7, including New York City, not a single one. The hospitals and leaders in question argue the outside work actually serves patients by opening up lines of communication between different industries with their interests at heart, and they say rules are in place to prevent any kind of abuse. But others argue even the appearance of conflict is a problem. So more than 100 physicians, researchers, residents, and students from Harvard-affiliated hospitals across the city have sent a petition to university and hospital officials calling for stronger ethics rules, which would ban these simultaneous positions outright. I'm joined now by its co-author, Dr. Carolyn Becker. She's an endocrinologist at Brigham and Women's Hospital and an associate professor at Harvard Medical School. Doctor, it's great to meet you. Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
What specifically most concerns you about these dual responsibilities?
Well, I think they're both full-time jobs in terms of being a leader and executive at a hospital and being on a board of trustees for a big company. They're not only busy jobs, they're conflicting. And to be president of a hospital, a CEO of a hospital, and have an alliance to a corporation, a company, a fiduciary responsibility to another entity seems to us like a clear conflict of interest.
You know, the former head of your hospital, Brigham, Betsy Nabel,
Yes.
apparently on the board she served had responsibility, to your point, of 30 to 40 board meeting attendances in a particular year. And she also served on the board of Moderna and sold stock there worth $8.5 million. And it seems to me, well, not seem to me, the law is if you're on a board of a corporation, you have a fiduciary responsibility to the company, which means to advance its interests. The interest of a drug company seems to be to maximize its profits. The interest of a CEO of a hospital is to make drugs as accessible and affordable for its patients. How can you possibly serve two such masters?
You can't. You can't. And that was the basis of this petition. Basically, we know that Dr. Nabel stepped down. We know that other people have stepped down from very high positions in Boston, but we didn't see any change in policy. We didn't see anything that would prevent these conflicts from happening again or continuing right now. And we basically felt that unless we push it as the faculty, residents, fellows, students, there was so much feeling about this. We had to keep pushing it because we were being greeted by silence, and we still are.
You know, just so that people who didn't read the original Spotlight series know that I didn't mean just to single out Dr. Nabel. In the report, it talked about the former head of Children's Hospital, Sandy Fenwick, who served on the board of a telehealth company, yet when she lobbied the legislature for additional funding for telehealth,
Yes.
she apparently failed to tell the legislators that she was lobbying that she would profit should there be more funding for telehealth companies. Even if she had disclosed that connection, can a CEO be doing that kind of thing?
No. And, you know, these are all of these people that were named in the Spotlight article. They're amazing, accomplished.
I'm sure they are.
People. They are highly trained. They are incredibly successful. And,
However,
I hate to use the word, they're good people, but people are people. And when presented with an opportunity or an incentive for
Yeah.
greed, I think it's just the incentive cannot be there. The incentive should not be there. And that's what we're trying to do, take away, ban these kind of relationships because the telecom, multiple. I think the head of Mass General also
yeah,
was
that's
on the
true.
board of a telecom company, and
Dr. Slavin, yeah, that's true.
Doctor, So
but
it's
can I interrupt?
very prevalent.
Something you have to
Sure.
explain to me that I've never understood with this story. As I said in the lead to you, at least at the time of this report, 6 out of 7 of these hospital heads, and I should say right now, to their credit, the head of BI and the interim head of your place, of the Brigham,
Yes.
Dr. Epen, they are not serving on any outside boards.
Correct.
6 out of 7 here, yet 0 in New York City. I know we're a special place, but their argument is, according to the Globe and some of their spokespeople, those collaborations benefit us, we get insight, etc. Why do they have to sit on a board and rake in millions of dollars to gain insight and collaborate with companies that also serve their patients? They can just work with them, can't they?
Jim, that's exactly what we're trying to do. We are a biotech mecca. I mean, Boston has so many companies. We have so much research going on. We are a medical research and clinical hub, and that's wonderful. But if we're going to have these collaborations, and I'm not opposed. I mean, some of my best friends work for pharma, and I mean, I'm not opposed to these industries. We need them. But to be the head of a hospital and be owning stock and getting $400,000 on average extra salary and committing that time, taking it away from your main job, it's wrong. And we want collaborations, but they should be very minimally compensated, no stock options. There are ways to do this that can work for both sides. And show me the evidence that any of these collaborations have helped the hospital. When a chief is doing this, where is the evidence that collaboration has helped the people who work or the patients who come to that hospital? I don't see it, and I think it's a false argument.
We only have a minute left. Have you gotten any response to the plea, for lack of a better expression, that you and your colleagues are making?
I and the other people who have, this is a group effort, by the way.
I know that.
Many, many, many people have participated, given feedback. We have gotten lots of positive responses from all over the Harvard community and outside the community. We have yet to hear anything from the powers that be. Not a word negative, not a word positive, nothing. So that is very disappointing.
Well, I should say I have no authority in this one, but your demands on behalf of the people you serve could not be more reasonable, and I think virtually everybody watching the show would hope you prevail. I among them. Dr. Becker, I really appreciate your effort and your time. Thank you.
And thank you, Jim, so much. Thank you for giving us this forum.